Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, a very warm welcome to you, sir. Namaskar. The Honorable Minister of State for Science and Technology and Earth Sciences Independent Charge, and the Honorable Minister of State in the Prime Minister's office. A very, very warm welcome to you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it is his leadership that continues to strengthen India's quantum leaps in space, science, technology, and governance. Let's have another loud round of applause for the Honorable Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji. Very warm welcome to you, sir. We are also being graced by Dr. V. Narayanan, Secretary, Department of Space, Chairman of the Space Commission and Chairman ISRO. And I invite Dr. Pavan Goenka, Chairman in Space. Being graced by Dr. V. Narayanan, Secretary, Department of Space, Chairman of the I don't have panel discussion. Give me the names. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Minister is first taking a picture with the astronauts. Ladies and gentlemen, may we also please have a huge round of applause for the Gaganyatris who are here with us on the dais. And I invite you to please take your seats as well as soon as we reset the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, today is truly a very historic day. This is the second National Space Day celebrations, and the phrase infinite possibilities speaks to the horizons now opening before us. And we are truly grateful to the Honorable Minister of State for Space for gracing this occasion, the inaugural ceremony, with his presence. I would also once again request Dr. Pavan Goenka, Chairman in Space, to please join us on to the dais. Dr. Goenka. So he's going to be joining us very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So namaskar and a very heartfelt welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the inaugural session of National Space Day 2025. Let's have a huge round of applause, yes, as we partake in the celebrations of the National Space Day 2025. Dr. Pavan Goenka, Chairman in Space, also here with us. May I invite you, sir, to please take your seat. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we gather not only to commemorate, but to propel India's celestial odyssey, where ancient wisdom meets modern innovation and ambition blends with cosmic purpose. India's journey into the cosmos is a saga deeply anchored in our ancient wisdom. Our forebears, the early astronomers, meticulously charted eclipses, comets, and planetary alignments, integral to Vedic studies dating back to 1500 BCE and even earlier. And that timeless legacy continues to bloom as India stands tall today as a global space power, driven by innovation, guided by vision, and propelled by fearless aspiration. And since our first National Space Day in 2024, India has not stood still, and the cosmos has echoed back our advancements. The SpaceX mission showcased orbital mastery with a successful docking maneuver in orbit. The Aditya L1 Solar Observatory has completed a year of groundbreaking solar studies, while GSLV F-15 proudly marked ISRO's 100th mission. The NISR mission, launched on July 30th, 2025, will start delivering unmatched Earth imaging for disaster response and climate monitoring. Preparations for Gaganyaan-1, India's first uncrewed human spaceflight test, are advancing for launch later this year. And alongside, NSIL has realized second demand-driven satellite, and InSpace has successfully enabled India's first public-private partnership in satellite building. And I'd also like to share with you that ISRO has unveiled the concept of a next-generation heavy-lift launch vehicle, paving the way for realizing Indian space station and crewed lunar missions. And writing a new chapter of human presence in space, Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla became the first Indian to visit the International Space Station, completing the Axiom 4 mission with over 60 experiments and 20 outreach events, calling it India's second orbit. Here he is seated on the dais with us. Ladies and gentlemen, 23rd August remains a date etched forever in golden letters in India's history, the day Chandrayaan-3 touched down on the moon's southern hemisphere. And that moment was not just a technological triumph, it was an emotional milestone engraved into the heart of every Indian when our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji declared it as National Space Day. This day is not merely a celebration, it is a reaffirmation of resolve, a day to strengthen our commitment and to chart the future of India at the frontiers of space. And the theme of this year's National Space Day encapsulates the spirit of Aryabhatta to Gaganyaan, ancient wisdom to infinite possibilities. And this reminds us that our journey is both civilizational and futuristic, rooted in heritage, yet rising to embrace boundless horizons. As we celebrate, we also recommit ourselves to touching not just the moon and beyond, but touching lives here on Earth through the power, promise, and purpose of India's space story. It is a journey that draws strength from our ancient wisdom while opening doors to infinite possibilities. Now, to highlight the significance of this historic day and to welcome the Honorable Minister and our esteemed guests, it is my privilege to introduce and invite for the welcome address the Secretary, Department of Space, Chairman Space Commission, and Chairman ISRO, Dr. V. Narayanan. He's a distinguished propulsion scientist and rocket technologist. Dr. Narayanan started the scripting of a new chapter in India's space journey since January 2025. And under his visionary leadership, India's space program is scaling bold new frontiers from Chandrayaan-4 and Gaganyaan to India's first steps towards lunar bases and next-generation heavy-lift launch vehicles. It is his leadership that is shaping not only missions, but also the nation's place as a global space leader. Sir, we now request you to please address the gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. V. Narayanan, Secretary, Department of Space, Chairman, Space Commission, and Chairman, ISRO.
Namaskar. Good morning. On behalf of the Department of Space, let me express our greetings on the occasion of National Space Day celebration to each and every one of you who are here. Honorable Minister of State, Jitendra Singh ji, Chairman in Space, Principal Scientific Advisor to PM, Secretaries of various departments, Space Commission member, Director, IAC, our former Chairman and Secretary Department of Space, under whose guidance the Chandrayaan-3 was successfully accomplished, Mr. Somanath sir, Directors of ISRO centers and units, Program Directors, Project Directors, Mr. Shukla ji and all the 4 Gaganyatris identified by Honorable Prime Minister, my dear friends from DOS, ISRO family, and students, media, persons from media, very, very good morning to all of you. It is a great privilege and honor for me to welcome all of you and all the gatherings here for the second National Space Day celebration. When you see the National Space Day, I think you have to thank a couple of people. 23rd August 2023 was a historical day. India successfully landed, soft landed Chandrayaan-3 near the south pole of moon and we became the only one country and first country successfully soft landed near the south pole of moon. On this occasion, first of all, I have to express our gratitude to all the people for that great achievement. Honorable Prime Minister of India, who is a visionary leader, and our minister, who was given directions and guidelines to carry out the space activities. It was Honorable Prime Minister who named the spot where the Chandrayaan-3 landed as the Sivasakti Point, also declared 23rd August as the National Space Day. And let us give a big hand and our gratitude to Honorable Prime Minister of India for declaring this as a National Space Day, also guiding us and directing us to take Indian space program to greater and greater heights to meet the Viksit Bharat 2047. Coming to our Honorable Minister of State, he is part of us. He is like our brother, like a guide, like a mentor. Almost alternate today, we discuss with him all the issues. And he is always guiding us in the best possible way. And he is with us as the chief guest today. So let us welcome him too. And when he was the minister, that time only the Chandrayaan-3 was successful. You can understand how much guideline and direction would have come from him. Coming to next person, when you talk about the Chandrayaan missions, the Chandrayaan-1, which found water molecule on the south, water molecule on the moon, was accomplished when the great people chairman, Madhav Nair was the chairman of ISRO. And then Chandrayaan-2, Dr. Sivan was in the forefront leading. Not only leading, Chandrayaan-2, you all know we could not soft land it, but we have placed the best camera of India in moon's orbit, the on-orbit high-resolution camera. The credit goes to Dr. Sivan and the entire team at that point of time. And when Chandrayaan-2, there was a setback. There was a national committee constituted, and I think a couple of members are here. There were a 10-member committee. And we were given a direction to complete the studies in 30 days and submit the report. And I want to tell dear friends, it was a Herculean task, but the committee worked almost only slept almost 3.5 hours per day. And a 1100-page report with 107 recommendation was submitted to then chairman, Dr. Sivan. And today, entire thing is implemented. And the success came when Dr. Somanath was the chairman of ISRO. So let us give a big hand when Somanath led the entire team from the forefront for that great success. Then comes to the Mars orbiter mission. India is the only country and first country accomplished Mars orbiter mission in the first attempt. And Dr. Radhakrishnan, who was leading from the forefront. And let us also thank him on this occasion. And there are leaders. Dr. Kiran Kumar. Without Kiran Kumar, there is no interplanetary missions. Every mission, his hand was there. Chandrayaan-1, Chandrayaan-2, Mars orbiter mission, and Aditya, everywhere he was there. And of course, all our former chairmen, starting from Sarabhai to Professor Satish Dhawan to Professor U.R. Rao to Professor Menon to Dr. Kastur Rangan, one of the greatest son of soil. So on this occasion, let me remember all of their contribution. Let me thank them on this fantastic day. And dear friends, after the last year celebration, Dr. Somanath, and after the last year celebration, lot of achievements and accomplishments. One of the major achievements is the sending our own Gaganyatris to International Space Station, ISS. And it was again Honorable Prime Minister who was to be thanked. It was his idea that before sending the Gaganyatri through our rocket, we should send one of them to the International Space Station. And his vision led to a great success. Today, ISRO team has successfully executed, and Suklaji has gone to the space station and come back safely. Let us give a big hand to Suklaji. When you talk about Suklaji, we should not forget 3 of his colleagues who are with us. Basically, we are having 4 people. I used to say, all the 4 people are equal to us, in par to us. And of course, finally only one person got the opportunity to go to International Space Station. For that, we credit him, but then all the 4 people contribution is equal. Let us give a big hand to all the 4 Gaganyatris on this occasion. And coming to the achievements and accomplishments, after the last Space Day celebration, Aditya L1 is successfully commissioned in the orbit. And Aditya L1, by placing that India becoming one among 4 countries having a satellite for studying the sun, till today 15 terabit scientific data we have received, and we have put for the entire scientific community. And it was SpaceX docking experiment. January 16 was a historical day. We have successfully docked the 2 satellites rotating with 28,400 kilometers per hour, and India becoming one among 4 countries demonstrating that great technology today. And 29th January 2025 was another historic day. The 100th launch vehicle mission was successfully and precisely accomplished from India, and we are written in the golden letters of Indian space history. The 100th launch was the perfect success. And then comes to the NISR launch. NISR launch, as far as ISRO is concerned, it is a prestigious launch. Why it is a prestigious launch? 1963, November 21st, USA gave a tiny rocket for us to launch. And August 1st, 1975, we wanted to demonstrate mass communication through satellite technology. And 2,400 television sets were kept in 6 states in 2,400 villages. For that, a satellite signal was given by USA. Truly, we were 60 years behind advanced countries in the space program at that point of time. Last month 30th, the NISR satellite, NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar satellite. The L-band payload was realized by JPL NASA, and S-bands are by ISRO. The entire satellite was built by ISRO, and it was launched perfectly, successfully, within 2 kilometer dispersion by Indian launcher, the GSLV Mark II vehicle. And today, dear friends, a country which was 60 years behind advanced spacefaring nations, we are being shoulder to shoulder with the developed nations. And we are going to have a communication satellite of 6,500 kg, USA-built communication satellite, which is going to be launched within a couple of months. That speaks volume. When it comes to Honorable Prime Minister of our country, he is a different person with great tangential thinking. The vision, direction given by him, based on his vision, we are going to have a Chandrayaan 4 mission. We are going to have a Venus orbiter mission. We are going to have a space station called BAS. By 2035, India will have a space station on its own, and the first module will be lifted off by 2028. And he has given approval for a NGLV, next generation launcher. And next generation launcher configuration, little bit we have modified. The first launcher which lifted off from Indian soil, the SLV-3, the project director was none other than APJ Abdul Kalam, and worked under the leadership role of Professor Satish Dhawan. That capability of the vehicle was hardly 35 kg to low Earth orbit. I don't underestimate capability. At that point of time, it was a great capability. And the lift-off mass of the rocket was 17 tons. From that, we have moved gradually, step by step. Today, we have conceived a rocket to take 80,000 kg to low Earth orbit, and a 40-story height rocket with 2,600-ton capability, lift-off mass capability, powered by 27 240-ton locksmith engine. What a significant and great progress. And dear friends, lot of new technologies we have demonstrated this year. The semi-cryo propulsion system, we have made breakthrough. The test stand was declared to the country by Honorable Prime Minister of India in 2023. We have completed almost 7 tests in that test stand. High thrust electric propulsion, lot of things are done. And finally, yes, satellite launch vehicle, everything is meant for application for the common man of this country. And application, we are doing outstanding work. There are 55 applications. And we had a national meet after 10 years. Yesterday we have concluded, and that has given a direction, guideline for the application, including sat communication, satellite navigation, and earth observation for the country. We conducted based on the direction of Honorable Prime Minister Chintan Shivir. He has given the vision for 2047. We have written the roadmap how to achieve that vision Also how to take the space program up to 1962, being the 100 years of ISRO, Indian space program. We have charted out the entire program. Today, everything is going to be released here. The theme of today's space program, Space Day celebration, from Aryabhatta to Gaganyatris, which pays tributes to the progress achieved by our ancient astronomers and mathematicians. Over the decades, we have mastered a lot of technologies in the space program. In a nutshell, under the visionary leadership of Honorable Prime Minister and able guidance of our Minister of State, and we have got the principal scientific advisor to PM. He gives then and there necessary direction and guideline. Also, the Space Commission members are here. IAC Director is here. And Kiran Kumar sir could not participate. And with all their guideline, vision, and the strong foundation made by the former leaders of ISRO, and the contribution of each and every one of you, I would like to say by 2040, India will be, based on the direction of Prime Minister, we are going to land on the moon, the crewed mission will be on the moon, and we are going to bring back safely. Thereby, 2040, Indian space program will be in par with any other spacefaring nations, in terms of launcher, in terms of human spaceflight program, in terms of application, in terms of satellite, everything will be in par. Thanks to the entire leaderships. And coming to my role, I think I'm not going to dwell much. First of all, let me welcome Honorable Minister for this very, very important National Space Day function. Let us welcome him. Let me welcome all the 4 Gaganyatris who is on the stage for this function. Let me also welcome InSpace Chairman. Let me welcome the former Chairman, Mr. Somnath, who was leading the role during the last Space Day celebration. He is with us. Let us welcome him. Let us welcome our PSA, Principal Scientific Advisor, who is with us. He is going to give the keynote speech. Let us welcome IAC Director, who is the Space Commission member for this function. Let us welcome the senior secretaries, including Secretary, Science and Technology, and other secretaries for this very, very important function. Let me also welcome all the directors, unit directors, center directors, program directors, project directors, and all ISRO team for this function. When I welcome all of you, I will fail my duty unless I welcome all the family members who are here. Not everybody, a couple of family members are there. But for their support, surely we cannot perform well. I think Suklaji also totally agreed with me. Without Madam's support, he cannot perform well. And without my wife's support, surely I cannot perform well. That you all agree. So let us welcome all of them for this function. And very, very important team, which I have to acknowledge, is the Prime Minister's Office, PMO team, represented by Mr. Vipin Kumar. I think he is here in the front. And PMO strongly give clear direction. Whenever we little bit deviate here and there are clear directions, guidelines. So let me also thank them for their outstanding contribution. They are part of us, and we are part of them, and we are taking the program together. So with this, there are young students. You are the future leaders. Surely India will become a developed country by 2047. And based on the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, I request all of you to think tangentially and think how to contribute to make this country as a developed country, and request you to contribute whatever way it is possible. Thank you. Let me once again welcome each and every one of you for this second National Space Day celebration. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring words of welcome, and also for walking us through the luminaries who have led from the front in all of India's historic space missions and all the missions for the future. Your address has set the perfect tone for today's celebrations. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now honored to welcome to the podium Dr. Pavan Kumar Goenka, Chairman InSpace, a Padma Shri awardee and former Managing Director of Mahindra & Mahindra. Dr. Goenka has been the architect of India's modern space reforms, from spearheading the journey of India's private sector to liberalizing FDI norms, and from nurturing startups to launching the decadal vision. His leadership has transformed India's space sector into a very vibrant, globally competitive ecosystem where India's space story has become a shared national endeavor. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome, since he's already at the podium, Dr. Pavan Goenka.
Minister of State for Space, Dr. Jitendra Singh, Secretary DOS and Chairman ISRO, Dr. V. Narayanan, the Gaganyatris, friends. Let me extend my personal welcome to the second edition of National Space Day. After the inspiring and energizing speech by Dr. V. Narayanan, there's nothing more for me to add, but I've been given 3 minutes, so I will take those 3 minutes. If you look at last year, in our first National Space Day till today, tremendous progress has been made in the space sector, both from ISRO and from the private sector. Dr. Narayanan talked about various things that have happened in the last year and even before, such as SpaceX, NISAR, this human space flight, that is XM4, and the 100th launch that happened. Very energizing to see the Vision 2047 that has been put together, and there's a panel later on in the afternoon on the Vision 2047, and I think those who have not been involved with it will simply be impressed to see what are the aspirations that we have set for the space sector in the next 22 years. And what you see is further maturing of the private sector. The number of things that have happened in the last year, too long a list to cover, but companies like Agnikul, Skyroot, Anand Technologies, Pixel, Dhruva Space, Bellatrix, Digantra, TSL, XT-Links, they've all made significant progress along with 300 other startups that have come around. And if you go out and look at the 24 exhibits, you will get a feel, and compare that to last year, you'll get a feel for how far we have come in just 12 months. 3 specific big-ticket items that have happened, which will define the role of private sector in space, are assignment of the 89-degree east spectrum or orbit slot to ATL. And ATL is now working on launching the first privately owned space communication satellite in about 3.5 years at an expense or investment of more than 2,500 crores, the largest single investment by private sector in space. Second is the technology transfer of SSLV. Again, for the first time ever, other than Space Agency of India would be making or owning a complete launch vehicle. And third is awarding the EO constellation to the consortium led by Pixel. And again, all the 4 companies are outside, and they'll be investing more than 1,200 crores to set up this constellation. All of these were done through a bidding process, and the zero bid of Pixel consortium is talk of the town, that how can somebody bid zero when the government is offering 350 crores. And to me, it's a very big statement of the confidence that the private sector has in the future opportunities in space. And we feel very, very positive about what lies ahead for us with this kind of enthusiasm that private sector is showing in the space sector. The task of ISRO and InSpace is to make sure that these 3 initiatives of private sector become successful, and we have to do everything that we can, and we will, to help them succeed. There are many opportunities that have been identified yesterday with National Meet 2.0, and as I said yesterday, that will keep us busy for the next 5 years to deliver on all the expectations of various government departments and the states. Let me conclude by assuring our Honorable Minister that the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister of private sector playing an important role and is becoming a reality with unwavering support from you, sir, for that Prime Minister's vision. And I also thank my ISRO colleagues for fully supporting InSpace in fulfilling our mandate to help private sector play a big role in space. Again, thank you very much for being here today, and you will go back with a lot more excitement about the space sector in India, as Dr. Narayanan had just pointed out. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Goenka, for that very compelling address. And ladies and gentlemen, on this momentous occasion, we're also very privileged to hear from the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. His vision has been the guiding force in positioning space as a cornerstone of national development and a driver of global collaboration. So let us all now listen to his special message for the second National Space Day celebrations.
केंद्रीय कैबिनेट के साथी, इसरो और स्पेस सेक्टर के सभी वैज्ञानिक एवं इंजीनियर्स और मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, आप सभी को नेशनल स्पेस डे की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। इस बार स्पेस डे की थीम है आर्यभट्ट से गगनयान तक। इसमें अतीत का आत्मविश्वास भी है और भविष्य का संकल्प भी है। आज हम देख रहे हैं इतने कम समय में ही नेशनल स्पेस डे हमारे युवाओं में उत्साह और आकर्षण का अवसर बन गया है। ये देश के लिए गर्व की बात है। मैं स्पेस सेक्टर से जुड़े सभी लोगों को, वैज्ञानिकों को, सभी युवाओं को नेशनल स्पेस डे की बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। अभी भारत ने इंटरनेशनल ओलंपियाड ऑन एस्ट्रोनॉमी एंड एस्ट्रोफिजिक्स उसकी मेजबानी भी की है। इस कंपटीशन में दुनिया के 60 से ज्यादा देशों से लगभग 300 युवाओं ने हिस्सा लिया। भारत के युवाओं ने मेडल भी जीते। ये ओलंपियाड स्पेस सेक्टर में भारत की उभरती लीडरशिप का प्रतीक है। साथियों, मुझे खुशी है कि युवा साथियों में स्पेस के प्रति रुचि बढ़ाने के लिए इसरो द्वारा भारतीय अंतरिक्ष हैकाथॉन और रोबोटिक्स चैलेंज जैसी पहल भी की गई है। मैं इन प्रतिस्पर्धाओं में हिस्सा लेने वाले स्टूडेंट्स और विजेताओं को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। फ्रेंड्स, स्पेस सेक्टर में एक के बाद एक नए माइलस्टोन गणना, ये भारत और भारत के वैज्ञानिकों का स्वभाव बन गया है। 2 साल पहले ही भारत पहला ऐसा देश बना था जिसने चंद्रमा के साउथ पोल पर पहुंचने का इतिहास रचा। हम स्पेस में डॉकिंग, अनडॉकिंग की क्षमता रखने वाले दुनिया के चौथे देश भी बन गए हैं। अभी 3 दिन पहले ही मेरी ग्रुप कैप्टन शुभांशु शुक्ला से मुलाकात हुई है। उन्होंने इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन पर तिरंगा फहराकर हर भारतीय को गर्व से भर दिया। जब वो तिरंगा मुझे दिखा रहे थे, वो जो पल थी, जो अनुभूति थी, वो शब्दों से परे है। ग्रुप कैप्टन शुभांशु से हुई चर्चा में मैंने नए भारत के युवा के असीम हौसले और अनंत सपनों को देखा है। इन सपनों को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए हम भारत का एस्ट्रोनॉट पूल भी तैयार करने जा रहे हैं। मैं आज स्पेस डे पर अपने युवा साथियों को भारत के सपनों को उड़ान देने के लिए इस एस्ट्रोनॉट पूल से जुड़ने के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूं। साथियों, आज भारत सेमी क्रायोजेनिक इंजन और इलेक्ट्रिक प्रोपल्शन जैसी ब्रेक थ्रू टेक्नोलॉजी में तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहा है। जल्द ही आप सब वैज्ञानिकों की मेहनत से भारत गगनयान की उड़ान भी भरेगा और आने वाले समय में भारत अपना स्पेस स्टेशन भी बनाएगा। अभी हम मून और मार्स तक पहुंचे हैं। अब हमें गहरे अंतरिक्ष में उन हिस्सों में भी झोंकना है जहां मानवता के भविष्य के लिए कई जरूरी रहस्य छिपे हैं। बियॉन्ड गैलेक्सीज लाइज अवर होराइजन। साथियों, अनंत अंतरिक्ष हमें हमेशा ये एहसास दिलाता है कि वहां कोई भी पड़ाव अंतिम पड़ाव नहीं है। मैं मानता हूं स्पेस सेक्टर में पॉलिसी लेवल पर भी कहीं कोई आखिरी ठहराव नहीं होना चाहिए और इसलिए मैंने लाल किले से कहा था, हमारा रास्ता रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म और ट्रांसफॉर्म का रास्ता है। इसलिए बीते 11 वर्षों में देश ने स्पेस सेक्टर में एक के बाद एक लगातार बड़े रिफॉर्म्स किए हैं। एक समय था जब स्पेस जैसे फ्यूचरिस्टिक सेक्टर को देश में अनेक पाबंदियों से बांध दिया गया था। हमने इन बेड़ियों को खोला। हमने प्राइवेट सेक्टर को स्पेस टेक में परमिशन दी और आज देखिए देश में 350 से ज्यादा स्टार्टअप्स स्पेस टेक के इनोवेशन और एक्सेलरेशन का इंजन बनकर उभर रहे हैं। इस कार्यक्रम में भी उनकी बढ़ चढ़ करके उपस्थिति दिख रही है। हमारे प्राइवेट सेक्टर द्वारा बनाया गया पहला PSLV रॉकेट भी जल्द ही लॉन्च किया जाएगा। मुझे खुशी है कि भारत की पहली प्राइवेट कम्युनिकेशन सैटेलाइट भी बनाई जा रही है। पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप के जरिए अर्थ ऑब्जर्वेशन सैटेलाइट कॉन्स्टलेशन भी लॉन्च करने की तैयारी है। आप कल्पना कर सकते हैं स्पेस सेक्टर में भारत के युवाओं के लिए बहुत बड़ी संख्या में अवसर बनने जा रहे हैं। साथियों, मैंने 15 अगस्त को लाल किले से ऐसे अनेक क्षेत्रों का जिक्र किया था जिसमें भारत को आत्मनिर्भर होना बहुत जरूरी है। मैंने हर सेक्टर को अपने लक्ष्य तय करने को कहा है। आज स्पेस डे के दिन मैं देश के स्पेस स्टार्टअप से कहूंगा, क्या हम स्पेस सेक्टर में अगले 5 वर्षों में 5 यूनिकॉर्न खड़े कर सकते हैं? अभी हम भारत की धरती से साल में 5-6 बड़े लॉन्च देखते हैं। मैं चाहूंगा कि प्राइवेट सेक्टर आगे आए और अगले 5 साल में हम उस स्थिति में पहुंचे कि हर साल 50 रॉकेट लॉन्च कर पाए, हर सप्ताह एक। इसके लिए देश को जिन नेक्स्ट जन रिफॉर्म की जरूरत है वो करने का सरकार का इरादा भी है और इच्छा शक्ति भी है। मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूं, सरकार हर कदम पर आपके साथ खड़ी है। फ्रेंड्स, भारत स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी को साइंटिफिक एक्सप्लोरेशन के साथ ही ईज ऑफ लिविंग का भी माध्यम मानता है। आज स्पेस टेक भारत में गवर्नेंस का भी हिस्सा बन रहा है। फसल बीमा योजना में सैटेलाइट बेस्ड आकलन हो, मछुआरों को सैटेलाइट से मिल रही जानकारी और सुरक्षा हो, डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट हो, या पीएम गति शक्ति नेशनल मास्टर प्लान में जियो स्पेशियल डेटा का इस्तेमाल हो। आज स्पेस में भारत की प्रगति सामान्य नागरिकों का जीवन आसान बना रही है। इसी दिशा में केंद्र और राज्यों में स्पेस टेक का इस्तेमाल बढ़ाने के लिए कल नेशनल मीट 2.0 का आयोजन भी हुआ है। मैं चाहूंगा ऐसे प्रयास आगे भी चलते रहें। हमारे स्पेस स्टार्टअप भी नागरिकों की सेवा के लिए नए सॉल्यूशंस दे, नए इनोवेशंस करे। मुझे विश्वास है आने वाले समय में अंतरिक्ष में भारत की यात्रा नई ऊंचाइयों को छुएगी। इसी विश्वास के साथ आप सभी को एक बार फिर नेशनल स्पेस डे की बहुत बहुत बधाई। धन्यवाद।
That was an inspiring message from our Honorable Prime Minister, envisioning space as the high frontier of India's growth story, a path of self-reliance, innovation, and a source of inspiration for every citizen. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have a video which showcases India's remarkable advancements since the maiden National Space Day on August 23, 2024, highlighting zonal events across the nation and the growing role of space technology as a catalyst for governance and progress. Let's take a look at this audio visual.
23rd August 2023 was a red-letter day in the Indian space program when the Vikram lander soft-landed near the southern polar region of the moon.
23 अगस्त को जब भारत ने चंद्रमा पर तिरंगा फहराया, उस दिन को अब हिंदुस्तान नेशनल स्पेस डे के रूप में मनाया जाएगा।
The first National Space Day was celebrated throughout the nation on 23rd August 2024 with participation from ministries, industries, startups and academia. Since the last Space Day in 2024, the country has witnessed new milestones in the space sector. During the period, more than 200 significant achievements have been accomplished. Prominent among them include innovative missions such as the Space Docking Experiment, 100th launch from Shar, GSLV F-15, first Indian aboard the International Space Station, and joint ISRO-NASA NISAR mission. ISRO continued its focus on readying the semi-cryogenic engine, testing and integration of Gaganyatris hardware, and construction of SSLV launch complex. The government has also greenlit the development of the Super Heavy Lift rocket and the third launch pad, TLP at Sriharikota, marking the dawn of a new era for India's space ambitions. The year also witnessed laurels in space science and exploration, with Aditya 1 capturing the first image of solar flare kernel in lower solar atmosphere, key insights on lunar data, and discovery of new exoplanet. In the field of space applications, some noteworthy achievements include the release of National Database for Emergency Management 5.0, development of new yield model for farmer claim settlements, and new method of measurement of soil moisture and ocean winds using GNSS reflectometry. In times of national need, the space assets have provided vital support towards ensuring capabilities, aided by In Space. Schemes such as the Seed Fund Scheme, PIE program, and pricing support have been rolled out by In Space. Several enterprises have started working towards building and operating their own satellites and testing subsystems of their launch vehicles. InSpace has also successfully transferred technology of ISRO's small satellite launch vehicle to Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. The past year has also witnessed several laurels from the New Space India Limited, NSIL, the state-run public sector enterprise under the Department of Space. These include realization of the high More than 300 meetings were held with user departments since June 2025, developing next-generation instruments and missions, boosting industry participation, and embedding innovations are the major recommendations that emerged through the user interactions. Towards the National Space Day 2025, a month-long series of events including conferences, exhibitions, talks, open houses, quizzes, Bharatiya Antariksh Hackathon 2025 and ISRO Robotics Challenge 2025 have been successfully conducted. These activities reflected the year's theme, Aryabhatta to Gaganyatris, ancient wisdom to infinite possibilities. This whole-of-nation approach towards building the space sector is powering India's ambitions and driving progress from farms to frontiers. It safeguards lives, strengthens the economy, and bridges the digital divide. In the vast silence of space, it fuels the heartbeat of Vikshit Bharat. Jai Vigyan, Jai Anusandhan.
These achievements remind us that every orbit we reach and every frontier we cross brings us closer to a future where India's space story touches lives here on Earth while reaching for the stars. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now take a look at highlights from National Meet 2.0 held yesterday, August 22nd, 2025. This landmark gathering brought together policymakers, scientists, industry leaders, and innovators to chart the next chapter of India's space applications and governance. Let's take a look.
Since beginning, India's space program has been more than rockets, satellites, and planetary missions. It's been about empowering people, improving lives, and shaping a better future. In 2014, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi urged for enhancing the use of space technology in governance and development. In 2015, during the first ever Mega User Meet, Honorable Prime Minister gave his vision on effective use of space technology for national development. Space technology has now become integral input for major flagship programs. 10 years after the Mega User Meet of 2015, or National Meet 1.0, India's space sector, both government and private, has grown significantly. To reassess the use needs for the future and for greater role of the private sector, Government of India decided to hold National Meet 2.0 in August 2025. Towards this, nearly 300 meetings were held with user departments since June 2025. Nearly 90 documents spanning 5,000 pages have come out as a result of this 3-month-long exercise. ISRO, Department of Space, is thankful to secretaries and senior officials of central ministries and departments, state governments and union territories for their unwavering support and wholehearted involvement in this process. The inputs from the user interactions are used in preparing the roadmap for space and ground infrastructure for the next 15 years, covering the domains of Earth observation, communication, and navigation. In terms of satellites, 100+ satellites need to be released over the next 15 years to meet the user requirements. Nearly 70% of these are in the small satellite class, thereby presenting opportunity for multiple satellites per launch. Implementation will be taken up such that government focuses on technology development missions, while operational missions are realized through private industry and public-private partnerships with active participation of InSpace, NSIL, and NGEs. The document, which is being submitted today, summarizes the mission plan for 2040. Aligning with the vision for Viksit Bharat, we hope for a future where space technology secures our food, water, environment, protects us from disasters, and sustainable growth for all. Together, we will march towards Viksit Bharat 2047. Jai Hind.
And ladies and gentlemen, we now move to a symbolic moment, the formal handover of the outcome report of National Meet 2.0 to the Honorable Minister of State for Space by Dr. V. Narayanan, Secretary, Department of Space. And to join in for this handing over ceremony, I also invite Shri Nilesh Desai, Director, Space Applications Center and Chair of the Apex Committee for National Meet 2.0. Also, Dr. Prakash Chauhan, Director, National Remote Sensing Center and Chair of the Program Management Council for Space Applications, please. May I now request Dr. V. Narayanan, Secretary, Department of Space, to kindly hand over this report to the Honorable Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, the Honorable Minister of State for Space. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a huge round of applause. The deliberations of National Meet 2.0 reinforce the inclusive collaborative vision for harnessing space across every sector, a vision that strengthens India's march towards Viksit Bharat 2047. Thank you very much. Thank you, esteemed dignitaries. I thank Shri Nilesh Desai and I thank Dr. Prakash Chauhan as well. Thank you, Honorable Minister. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we now present a short film on Chintan Shivir 2025, a platform for reflection, ideation, and charting the next frontier of India's space journey. So let us now first take a look at this short film.
In pursuit of the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's visionary directive to elevate India's space aspirations, the Department of Space convened a landmark 2.5-day workshop, Chintan Shivir 2025, from July 16th to 18th, 2025 in the vibrant city of Visakhapatnam, a bold step toward shaping the nation's celestial future. The primary strategic driver behind the DOS Chintan Shivir initiative was to develop a concrete action plan for implementing the Viksit Bharat 2047. The overarching theme for the event was implementing Space Vision 2047 and looking beyond. To envision the Space Vision 2047 and looking beyond towards the 100th year of the Indian space program. Around 350 key officials participated during the deliberations, including teams from ISRO, NSIL, InSpace, administrative wings of the department and the other autonomous bodies. At the helm of this extraordinary initiative stood the dynamic leadership of Chairman ISRO, Secretary DOS, Dr. V. Narayanan. 11 areas were identified for intense deliberations in the form of breakout sessions. The 2.5-day session has set the direction to harness the benefits of space technology for national development, along with targets for an exponential growth of the Indian space ecosystem, space applications, space infrastructure, space transportation systems, human spaceflight, and capacity building in the short term, mid-term, and long term. The Chintan Shivir deliberations help to assess the current gaps in the EO capabilities in supporting the application requirements and a roadmap of EO applications in the domains of ecosystem and food security, atmosphere and environment, climate, hydrology and cryosphere, and disaster risk reduction was chalked out. That is expected to position India as the global leader in Earth observation. The roadmap for satellite communication program aims to provide seamless connectivity, enhance network resilience and redundancy, broadband access extending to global locations by adoption of new technological solutions, including sovereign NGSO constellation. The Indian Navigation System, NAVIC, is proposed to be extended towards multiple orbits, enabling global coverage, meeting both civilian and strategic needs. A series of space science and exploration missions to destination within and beyond the solar system are planned that will complement the global space exploration efforts and also enrich the Indian space science ecosystem involving academia and research institutions. The Bharatiya Antariksh Station is poised to become a hub of scientific activity. The space applications require a robust space infrastructure, including satellite assets. The Chintan Shivir recommended the establishment of a secure, robust Bharatiya Global Grid, Bharatiya Akhand Sanchar Pranali, to deliver on-demand Earth observation data and a Bharatiya Sarvatra Vishwa Darshini for precise navigation and resilient communication services at a global scale. This requires a whole-of-nation approach involving the private sector to build the satellites with the required capacity. The strategic space assets essential for national security over the long term in the backdrop of the evolving geopolitical scenario was also deliberated and embedded in the roadmap. The timely deployment of the space infrastructure planned in the next decade and beyond requires both higher capacity and payload capability for the space transportation systems. The Chintan Shivir outlined a roadmap including the prioritization of the development of a human-rated launch vehicle for crewed lunar missions to achieve the first Indian human lunar landing by 2040, along with cutting-edge propulsion technologies, cost-effective space access with fully reusable launch vehicles and hypersonic vehicles. In the area of human space exploration and habitation, the technology thrust up to 2047 will be towards enabling longer duration human spaceflight missions in LEO, missions beyond LEO to cislunar space, establishing an Indian lunar habitat with capabilities of sustaining short or medium stay on lunar surface. Beyond 2047, the roadmap primarily focuses on achieving capabilities for Earth-independent operations in cis-Martian space as well as Mars surface habitation. The fulfillment of these objectives require the concurrent establishment of the related ground infrastructure, skill development, academic or industry partnerships, and productive international collaboration, launch infrastructure, propulsion test facilities, and capacity development in new areas such as bioastronautics. The changes required in organizational policies and human resources towards meeting the outlined space vision were discussed along with avenues in space business and diversification plans. Chintan Shivir 2025 has provided a blueprint for planning our space missions, industrial capacity, academic growth, and over the next 3 decades. Space will definitely be a significant driver for our Atmanirbhar Viksit Bharat 2047.
Ladies and gentlemen, the outcomes of Chintan Shivir 2025 reflect both the introspection and the vision for future space-driven governance. And now for the ceremonial handover of this outcome report, may I also invite the Secretary, Department of Space, along with all Program Management Council chairs, along with the Scientific Secretary, ISRO, to please be on stage with us. And before I request Secretary, Department of Space, Dr. V. Narayanan, to present this handover, to hand it over to the Honorable Minister of State for Space, I invite our Program Management Council chairs and also the Scientific Secretary of ISRO. And I now request Dr. V. Narayanan, Secretary, Department of Space, to kindly hand over this report to the Honorable Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a huge round of applause. This handover symbolizes our collective resolve to transform ideas into action and to shape India's future in space with conviction of vision and unity of purpose. I request the Honorable Minister to please stay with us ahead of the dais, because we want to take this opportunity, sir, to felicitate your presence. We cannot thank you enough, and I'm going to request Dr. V. Narayanan, Secretary, Department of Space, Chairman, Space Commission, and Chairman, ISRO, to kindly felicitate our chief guest, Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, with a shawl and a memento. Ladies and gentlemen, can we express our gratitude in the form of a rousing, roaring round of applause for the Honorable Minister of State for Space, Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji. And now we will request the Honorable Minister But before that, I'd like to, ladies and gentlemen, convey to all of you that we move to the highlight of our celebrations, where the Honorable Minister of State will present prizes to winners of the Robotics Challenge and Bharatiya Antariksh Hackathon. And before we invite the Honorable Minister to do that, let me just tell you a little about the Robotics Challenge first. The ISRO Robotics Challenge, URSC 2025, or IRoC-U, is a national platform that nurtures young innovators in space robotics, preparing them to solve real engineering challenges for the future interplanetary missions. And this year's theme, ANAV, Autonomous Navigation for an Aerial Vehicle Without External Navigation Aids, carries the inspiring tagline, "Fly me on Mars." And through this challenge, India's brightest youth are shaping technologies that will power our space exploration tomorrow. So I'm going to now request our Honorable Minister of State for Space to please distribute the prizes for the Robotics Challenge, sir. And we will begin with the third prize in this competition, going on to the second and then first. We also have consolation prizes, and going on to the special prize for innovation and non-intuitive thinking. So we begin by calling on stage for the Robotics Challenge our third prize winner, Team Inaugural from Karnataka. May I invite Saurabh Suresh Karki, Krishna Sai Golamudi, Amit Matthew, and Mallikarjun S. Kande. Let's welcome Saurabh Suresh Karki, Krishna Sai Golamudi, Amit Matthew, and Mallikarjun S. Kande. Team Inaugural from Karnataka getting the third prize in the Robotics Challenge. To inviting our second prize winners, ladies and gentlemen, for the Robotics Challenge. And the second prize goes to Team Surya from Uttar Pradesh. May I invite Kartik Pandey, Muskan, Prashant Singh, and Rani Astya to kindly join us on stage. Surya from Uttar Pradesh. Let's have a huge round of applause for our second prize winners, ladies and gentlemen. Team Surya from Uttar Pradesh. We see big smiles on the faces of the team members, Kartik Pandey, Muskan, Prashant Singh, and Rani Astya. Very well done, and many congratulations. And ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this challenge, the first prize for Robotics Challenge, goes to Galactic Gearheads from Maharashtra. We invite Nimish Sadap, Rushikesh Patwardhan, Kaushal N. Chaudhary, and Dr. S.V. Gaikwad to kindly join us on stage and receive their prize. Let's have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for our first prize winners. Team Galactic Gearheads from Maharashtra. Nimish Satab, Rushikesh Patwardhan, Kaushal N. Chaudhary, and Dr. S.V. Gaikwad. And in this Robotics Challenge, ladies and gentlemen, we also have two consolation prizes. So may I first invite Team Titans from Maharashtra on getting a consolation prize, Padmesh Kimmatkar, Dr. Sandeep Khetkar, Sanjot Sanjay Kavale, and Dipanshu Kamalkar Pise. Team Titans getting a consolation prize, Team Titans from Maharashtra. The Titans are Padmesh Kimmatkar, Dr. Sandeep Khetkar, Sanjot Sanjay Kavale, and Dipanshu Kamalkar Pise. Many, many congratulations on getting your consolation prize. And there is another consolation that goes to Cosmos from West Bengal. May I invite Somalia Malik, Shreyan Kundu, Muhammad Mustafa Abdullah, and Subham Das. Cosmos from West Bengal walks away with another consolation besides the Titans. Here they are, Cosmos from West Bengal getting the consolation prize from the Honorable Minister, Somalia Malik, Shreyan Kundu, Muhammad Mustafa Abdullah, and Subham Das. And ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I'm going to hold back Cosmos from West Bengal because they get one more prize. They get a special prize for innovative and non-intuitive thinking. Cosmos from West Bengal, Somalia Malik, Shreyan Kundu, Muhammad Mustafa Abdullah, and Subham Das will now get their special prize for innovative and non-intuitive thinking as well. So let us congratulate them with another loud round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to all the winners. Now we proceed to the prize distribution, ladies and gentlemen. And I will just describe it, sir. So I request you to please be seated. Bharatiya Antariksh Hackathon. So the Bharatiya Antariksh Hackathon, ladies and gentlemen, launched by ISRO in 2024, is a flagship initiative to ignite innovation among students in the run-up to the National Space Day. The 2025 edition, unveiled on June 18th, saw over 61,000 students and 8,744 teams. They tackled 14 problem statements across geospatial technology, space science, image processing, and AI and ML. After a rigorous process, the top 30 teams reached the 30-hour grand finale on August 7th and 8th, where the best 3 were chosen for their creativity, technical excellence, and feasibility. We congratulate all the participants. This was a difficult competition, and we request the Honorable Minister to please now distribute the prizes. So may I request you to please step ahead of the dais and give away 3 prizes, the third, second, and first for Bharatiya Hackathon, Antariksh Hackathon. Let us begin by calling on stage our third prize winner. The third prize goes to Team Neuronetics, Tathagato Das, Tirth Brata Jana, Suyatra Goswami, and Sovan Mandal. Ladies and gentlemen, can we do better on the applause? I thank you very much for your kind cooperation. Congratulations, Team Neuronetics, on getting your third prize. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite the winners of the second prize. The second prize goes to Dominators, Krish Vaghasya, Heli Shah, Hensi Bhavesh Kumar Patel, and Nisarg Vashi. Thank you for the applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for encouraging these students. Dominators walking away with the second prize, Krish Vaghasya, Heli Shah, Hensi Bhavesh Kumar Patel, and Nisarg Vashi. Congratulations to you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the first prize. The first prize of this competition, the Bharatiya Antariksh Hackathon, goes to Team Buck Trio, Arpit Chaudhary, Deepesh Ahlawat, and Chaitanya Sharma. Team Buck Trio getting the first prize. Arpit Chaudhary, Deepesh Ahlawat, and Chaitanya Sharma. Many congratulations to you. And I thank the esteemed Honorable Minister. Thank you, sir, for doing the honors again. I request you to please be seated now. And ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed delighted to have on the dais our Gaganyatris. So I think it's only fair if we request them to share their views in under 2 minutes, if that's all right. One by one. And I'm going to request first our Gaganyatri, Shubhanshu Shukla. Let me request you to please say a few words on this occasion.
Well, good morning to everyone. This is a surprise test. I was not expecting to speak, but I am so excited to see this, the excitement amongst all of you with what we are planning to do. I was just thinking about this, what is happening here. 2 years ago, we did not have this celebration. Last year, we started 2024, and this is 2025. And within 2 years, this is the excitement that we have been able to create. We have some really big ambitions going forward. Gaganyaan mission, Bharatiya Antariksh Station, and eventually landing on the moon. And what it requires is all the kids who are sitting here to be excited, because we will need all of you. And I'm so happy to see that you're already being a part of various competitions that are being organized and competing among yourselves, and in turn, creating this curiosity about space exploration. I think to achieve such big and bold ambitions that we have, it requires the resources of an entire nation, right from the kids. ISRO is already doing a fantastic job in involving everyone, because this is what we need going into the future. The industries, the schools, the academia, and the resources of the entire country to make these ambitions a reality, a goal. The celebration or the excitement that I see here in this room, let me tell you, in the past 1 year, I've been traveling globally for my training for the Axiom 4 mission to the International Space Station. This excitement is not limited to this room. This excitement for India is present all over the world. Wherever I have gone, I have interacted with everyone. My crewmates and the various teams at Japanese Space Agency or European Space Agency, wherever I have been, they are much more excited about our missions, because I was preparing for the flying to the International Space Station, and the questions would inevitably be, when is Gaganyaan going to fly? And they made me sign a note that whenever you do fly, you need to invite us for the launch. And we want to travel in your vehicle from Indian soil on an Indian launch vehicle very soon. So I think the excitement is very real. We have great ambitions, and I think now, since the responsibility has been given, it is our job and duty to perform them. And so I'm so happy to see that is already happening in a lot of ways, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be present here at this point of time. I think this is the golden period for our country as far as space exploration is concerned. Let's get higher and faster together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I now request our Gaganyatri, Prashant Balakrishnan Nair.
Can you hear me? Jai Hind to everybody out here. Thank you, Minister, Chairman, and my fellow Gaganyatris, all the senior leadership sitting in front of me, and the entire ISRO family, and from the scientific community, all top dignitaries of India, and the heroes of today, the children. When I was young, I used to always see those newspaper clippings that something is happening in Delhi. Many other events, with children go, a lot of competition and all. I'm still not that side, I'm on this side, and still envy the children who came out here and got all those awards. It's a fantastic achievement. So let's hear it again for all of them. To echo what my colleague said, while we visited the Japanese Space Agency, ESA, and when we went to SpaceX and all these places, cutting-edge technology. But there's a big admiration for India in everything that we did, because whatever we do it in a different way. So we are not looking too far when these people will be here in our own land and hoping to fly with us in the Gaganyaan. That's not too far away, because that is the thing that we should be aspiring to be. The theme for today's session is ancient wisdom to infinite possibilities. This is the whole theme for this year's. What does it stand for? Actually, this is where you need to actually look deep into what India provides all of you, which other countries do not. Whenever we light a lamp before any function, the other day when this entire thing was inaugurated, just 2 days back, there is something which is invoked, and we don't pay too much attention to it. And that's why today we are celebrating such people like Aryabhata. It is invoking Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Kurme Deva, Sarvakareshu Sarvada. We say these, but we don't understand what it is. And this is our ancient wisdom, that Vakratunda is Ganesha, the Ritambra Buddhi, big, Mahakaya. This is what we bring, creativity, something totally different, like the awards which are won today. And Surya Koti Samaprabha, to be resplendent like the sun. We just now with Aditya took a photograph also. Think out of the box and to remove all obstacles along the way. Nirvignam Kurme Deva, in everything that we do and always. Sarva Kareshu and Sarvada. Just by remembering this ancient wisdom, we can unlock infinite possibilities. And with that, I would like to end by saying, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and Jai Vaigan. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And now may I invite Gaganyatri Angad Pratap.
Very good morning to everyone present, Honorable Minister, sir, Chairman, sir, and distinguished guests and friends, families. This is a great moment that all of us have been able to come here, gather here for celebrating the National Space Day 2025. What each one of us should really understand today here is, as an Indian first, is what is the kind of potential we have as a country. And of course, we are able to celebrate this because we have right now a government which is really supporting the space sector. We can't forget the fact that we are riding on the hard work of decades and decades of, hard work which has gone in from our scientific community. Especially when I talk about this, I'm talking about the Indian Space Research Organization. There are a lot of people who have toiled very hard under a lot of hard working conditions. These were not ideal working conditions, and these were very, very intelligent people who chose to work for an organization called the Indian Space Research Organization. And in spite of having a lot of better pastures outside India or in the private community within India. So I would first of all request all of you to appreciate the fact that all of us are primarily present here and we are able to celebrate this day because of those people. And I would request all of you to please give a round of applause for all the names which even Chairman Sir brought out in his short speech. In fact, I firmly believe that today you have 4 individuals amongst this distinguished panel who are able to wear this jacket primarily because of the hard work, the capability that ISRO has, that from here on we can take a human space. We can even think of undertaking a human space mission. I'll keep it short. Human space mission is not the same as any other space mission. It is multiple missions in one mission. That's probably one of the reasons why it's more complicated and it ends up taking more time. As a country, I believe firmly, and I'm very sure about this, that we have to bring on board the collective national potential into the space sector to make this human space flight possible for us. Because by 2047, the kind of vision we have, as of now, one of the key things which is stopping us from becoming a superpower is this human space flight thing. So let's work together towards it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And now I have the privilege of requesting our Gaganyatri, Ajit Krishnan.
Jai Hind, sir. And Jai Hind, all the audience. When the 4 of us got associated with ISRO in 2020, at least I didn't realize that we are getting into something which is so much bigger than all of us. I thought that we're just going to be a part of one mission, maybe a few missions, which will be the beginning of human spaceflight in India. That was 2020. We fast forward now to 2025. In the 5 years that have gone by, we've been to the moon twice. We have had a docking experiment. We have had a new small satellite launch vehicle. We have had 350 startups coming up and joining our space sector. We are going places. India is going places. Wherever we have been abroad, everybody looks up to us. They look up to the pace at which we are progressing. And I feel that they're slightly envious also. This is all thanks to ISRO, all thanks to the private sector, all thanks to the educational institutes, academia that we have, all of you who are all working towards space. Now we have a solid roadmap available to us till 2047 that's in front of us. We just have to work hard, put our heads together, think innovatively, and produce the results so that we achieve what is planned in these books. Thank you very much, and Jai Hind.
Thank you to our Gaganyatris for those heartfelt remarks. And ladies and gentlemen, it is now my privilege, my honor to say that Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, a medical professional by training and a seasoned parliamentarian, has been one of the most articulate voices of the government in advancing India's science, technology, and innovation agenda. Under his visionary leadership, India's space program has seen historic policy reforms, unprecedented private sector participation, and a bold vision that places space at the very heart of national development and global leadership. Sir, your commitment and clarity of vision continue to inspire scientists, industry, students, and citizens alike, and India's space story shines brighter because of your guidance. And we are so privileged to have you lead these celebrations today. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause for the Honorable Minister of State for Space, Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji.
Thank you. I hurriedly came to the dais. I thought that will stop her, but anyway, it sounds very flattering. Thanks for a very kind introduction. So amongst us, Chairman Dr. Narayanan, Chairman in Space, Dr. Pavan Goenka, our 4 astronauts, Subhanshu, Prashant, Angat, Krishna. I can see all the senior members of Team ISRO, our former chairman, Somnathan. I think one healthy tradition in ISRO is that they may retire, but they continue working. So they are retired only in the office files, not in the ISRO files. And I'm glad. So very much like Somnathan, Kiran Kumar, Dr. Radhakrishnan, all of them continue to be there, following the same tradition and continuing with their projects. I can also see senior secretaries from the different departments of science, Dr. Ravi Chandran, Dr. Abhay is there, yes, Principal Scientific Advisor, and all the senior members of fraternity, and of course the students who are the main attraction of this program this morning. Now, Subhashu was saying that he was taken by surprise when he was asked to speak. So I think I take the responsibility of having committed that guilt because the moment I came on the stage, I requested Dr. Narayanan place 4 more chairs over here and make them speak before I speak because otherwise nobody will listen to me. Because I told him they have come to, the cameras are there to take their picture, the audience is there to listen to them. So at least by the time I come, that appetite would have been satiated, if not wholly to some extent, so some of them would be ready to listen to me. And then I said, see, you and I and others may be script writers, but the audience comes to see the hero and the heroine, not the script writer. So let's be modest enough. And I'm glad that you had an opportunity to spontaneously express yourself, and I'm sure they would have liked to talk to you more and more. And we, as facilitators, feel proud of you and also feel humbled. Now, coming back to what Dr. Narayanan was saying, that, yes, a very significant point he made, but I'm afraid it might go out only as a part of a polite conversation when he said all are equal. So please don't think this is just an expression of politeness coming out from the chairman. In fact, we have created an asset for India. So all these four gentlemen, because the story began with Gaganyatris, somewhere in 2018, I think the then chairman shared with us that India is ready to now send up a human being in this space. So we were very guarded. So I said, we must check our ourselves. And when ultimately it was made out that, yes, we could do it, then we thought we should have the announcement being made by the Prime Minister, because when Prime Minister announces from the ramparts of Red Fort, it becomes a declaration of intent and the whole world notices it. So we promised to each other, made a religious promise that we would not utter a single word before the Prime Minister has spoken from the Red Fort. And then all these guys came together, and the mission is still going on. It's just incidental that in between we had this. And Shubhanshu has been there, but in 2027, when we have the first human mission, we'll have 2 of them going up. Maybe subsequently we have more. So this is a sustainable, continuous asset with us, the 4 of them. The mission for which they have been enrolled and registered is not over. It's just a stopover with the International Space Station. Now, coming back to the National Space Day, which the chairman was referring, अब उसमें क्या हुआ कि आज से ठीक 2 बरस पहले, इसी दिन, आज ही के दिन, हिंदुस्तान वो पहला मुल्क बन गया जो चंद्रमा के साउथ पोल पर पहुंचा. And that sent out a huge message to the world that look at India has arrived. India is now no longer a follower. On the contrary, India today beckons others to follow her. And that was a momentous occasion. और प्रधानमंत्री का ये सुझाव आया कि इस क्षण को, इस पल को, इस दिन को अंकित करने के लिए क्या ऐसा हो सकता है कि प्रतिवर्ष ये दिवस मनाया जाए, राष्ट्रीय अंतरिक्ष दिवस. एंड आई थिंक broadly the objectives are twofold. एक तो हम इससे आत्ममंथन करें कि हम कहाँ खड़े हैं, कहाँ आगे जाना है, और दूसरा ये बच्चे प्रेरित होकर के देख सकें कि कितने सारे इनके लिए अवसर, मौके इस क्षेत्र में मौजूद हैं. And today, when we observe this for the second time, इसका एक विशेष महत्व बन जाता है. एक तो इसलिए कि अभी एक्सियम 4 मिशन संपन्न हुआ है और उसमें भाग लेने का निमंत्रण वहां से आया था, यहां से नहीं गया. अर्थात भारत की प्रतिभाओं की मान्यता विश्व भर में हुई है. It was a mission which didn't originate from India, nor did India conceive. लेकिन इसका अर्थ ये हुआ कि they now have started valuing Indian talent, Indian capabilities, and they feel that our boys, when they go there, they can add value to their mission. So that is the first message. और दूसरा इसका ये महत्व कि अभी कुछ ही सप्ताह, कुछ ही महीने पहले ऑपरेशन सिंदूर आपने देखा, और स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी की भारत की क्षमताओं का प्रदर्शन धरती से आकाश तक हुआ. And all that you see and you saw was a very optimum synergy of the 2 of the departments which many of us are associated with, the Department of Space Technology and Department of Atomic Energy. But what is even more important is कि ये सारी क्षमताएं, ये सारी सलाहियतें गत 10 वर्षों में ही हासिल की गई. ये टेक्नोलॉजी का ट्रांसफर भी 10 सालों में हुआ, टेक्नोलॉजी का विकास भी 10 सालों में हुआ, और इस तरह की वॉरफेयर टेक्नोलॉजीज की परख करने का अवसर कब रहता है. ऑपरेशन सिंदूर ने हमें मौका दिया पाकिस्तान की धरती पर इसको परखने का, और दुनिया और विश्व को ये समझ में आया कि व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इन द लास्ट 11 years ऑफ द मोदी गवर्नमेंट. लेकिन विद ऑल द एनालिस्ट्स, द जर्नलिस्ट्स एंड द थिंकर्स सिटिंग इन दिस रूम, शायद एक दिन ये भी सवाल आएगा कि 70-80 साल तक ये क्यों कर ऐसा हुआ कि हमारा अंतरिक्ष विभाग अलग थलग पड़ा हुआ सुस्त रफ्तार में चलता रहा। और जब उसका जवाब ढूंढा जाएगा तो समझ में आएगी कुछ ऐसी बातें जिसकी ओर अभी प्रधानमंत्री जी इशारा कर रहे थे। कि बहुत सारे क्रांतिकारी निर्णय लिए गए इन 7-8 वर्षों में। Now we are following the global benchmarks, we are following global strategies, we are following, because if we have to move on, we have to understand, we have to follow the global parameters. और उसमें सबसे बड़ा क्रांतिकारी निर्णय था opening up of the space to the private sector. And this could have happened only because we had a prime minister who has the courage of conviction to break the taboos of the past, to take out-of-box decisions. And one of the media friends very rightly had pointed out that day while reporting it, that Modi has opened India's space, and rather Modi has unlocked India's space. And of course, for the first time, the gates of Sriharikota were open to all. अब इसका अर्थ ये हुआ, और ये हमारे लिए एक सबक की बात भी है, because we have this day prompts us also to introspect what could have been done, what was not done, what could have been done, what could be done now at least. हमारे पास प्रतिभाओं की कभी कमी ना थी, योग्यता भी थी, काबिलियत भी थी, क्षमता भी थी, सलाहियत भी थी, आंखों में सपने भी थे, दिल में अरमान भी थे, हाथों में मेहनत करने का मादा भी था, लेकिन शायद वो अनुकूलता ना थी जो नीति निर्धारकों के स्तर से अपेक्षित होती है, या वो सपोर्ट सिस्टम ना था जो राजनीतिक नेतृत्व से अपेक्षित होता है। आपने देखा हो किस प्रकार से सारा भाई ने अपना सामान साइकिल पर उठा करके कैरेज में ले जाने का भी काम किया। So what was lacking was that enabling milieu, and that was provided after 2014 when Prime Minister Modi took over and the department started reporting directly to him. And that is the difference. And that is a lesson for us. We already were late. We could have done that earlier. And once that has happened, the outcomes are miraculous. Some of these were pointed out by the Prime Minister, some of them pointed out by the Chairman. We were almost a decimal economy, naam matra space. Today we are $8 billion US in the next 8 to 10 years. The projections are rising so fast, the graph is ascending so fast that we might increase 4 or 5 times to $40–45 billion, which in other words means that space would be an important component, and space economy would be an important component of India's future economic growth as India moves from rank 4 to rank 3, 2, 1 and so on. And now we have become the mainstream players in India's economic growth. We are no longer sitting in the periphery and just doing some odd experiments in the lab which are of no relevance to the country's overall growth. Startup ko dekhiye, till about 3-4 years back, there was hardly a concept of startup in space sector. Today we have nearly 400 startups, and many of them have the world potential. Many of them have turned into lucrative entrepreneurs. It's become, it's emerged as a huge avenue of entrepreneurship. Suddenly, I was seeing in the engineering colleges, the aerospace option in engineering has suddenly gone up. And the reflection of that comes when we receive requests for the internship which happens in the 3rd year of their course. और ये सब पिछले 3-4-5 सालों में हुआ, यानी ये हो सकता था मगर ना हुआ. And that could be also a lesson for us to follow. अब कुछ लोग ये कहते हैं कि साहब ये रॉकेट भेजने से क्या होगा, तो हो गया तो क्या हुआ. अब रॉकेट तो गया, इसी से आप लोग यहाँ इकट्ठा हुए इन सबको देखने के लिए, ना जाता तो कैसे होता. There is a huge amount of romanticism. जब कोई पिक्चर आने वाली होती है तो उसका ट्रेलर दिखाते हैं, उसमें वो कहानी नहीं दिखाते, वो सैड सॉन्ग नहीं दिखाते, उसमें वो दिखाते हैं जो आपको टिकल करता है, बाकी सब बाद में. But the sending up a rocket, of course, is a romantic exercise. It associates you with that area of work. But our 80%, 70% of the work in space technology is dedicated to what the Honorable Prime Minister briefly referred, We have created for the world an entirely unique model of the application of space technology to bring in ease of living in the life of a common citizen, in our infrastructure projects, in our development projects. And virtually, space technology has entered every Indian household, although the householders may not be aware that they are using space technology. It's quietly entered into your doorstep. And some of our space technology projects are now being emulated by the rest of the world. Gati Shakti ka bhi Pradhan Mantri ji ne zikr kiya. I think the first of its kind, when you monitor the infrastructure projects, you save on time, you save on money. When we grow in economy, it's not only what the kind of wealth we generate, also the kind of wealth we save. And that is the model of Gati Shakti. Swamitra program, drone ke saath mil karke, you can map your own land. You made citizen the master of his destiny. You have put Patwari out of job, which was such a sought-after job in this country. Telemedicine, disaster, as Prime Minister was mentioning. We are now providing even to the neighbors the inputs for that. Most of our housing programs, Amrit housing project, our smart cities project, defense का मैंने जिक्र करने की जरूरत नहीं, आपने ऑपरेशन संदूर अपनी आंखों से देख लिया. So it's not only confined only to the setting up of rockets, because that is equally important. और इसलिए, I won't take long, but the Axiom Commission, of course, much has been talked about it by the chairman, also been talked about the four. But what possibly is missed out is that even the participation of one of these four gentlemen, Shubhashu, in that Axiom mission is closely aligned with the Modi government's flagship programs and the Modi government's priority ideals. And I'll tell you how, because most of us, we are all from the science fraternity, we're not making a polite or a political speech. What he did, whether it was life sciences, plant physiology, is going to have a huge relevance even for the people living on the earth. जो microgravity में इन्होंने study किया, myogenesis, what happens when the muscles get wasted because of disuse, how to strategize their recovery, is very much relevant in most of our diseases. Like, for example, we have in type 2 diabetes mellitus, we have so also in some of the malignancies. We also have that following these ordinary incidents of bone fractures where you have to be bedridden or confined to bed, and then you are asked to do physiotherapy. So how do you strategize? So it's going to have a huge benefit for the people living on the earth, and benefit not confined only to the 140 crore Indians, to the entire mankind, and therefore Vishwa Bandhu Bharat, जो बार-बार प्रधानमंत्री जी कहते हैं, उसका प्रतीक Axiom 4 mission रहा है. The experiments performed by an Indian with the Indian material and the Indian literature, but the benefit is for the rest of the world as well, and equally as much. Secondly, all these kits which he carried to the space were developed over here. The Department of Biotechnology, which is also a part of the Ministry of Science and Technology, our institute over here, close by in Delhi itself, contributed to that. The other Institute of Biotechnology, the INSTEM in Bengaluru, the CSIR Institute, we have over here again, the ICGEB. So there was CSIR, there was biotechnology, there were the IITs, there was the Indian Institute of Sciences, Bengaluru, where Professor Sood has been a distinguished faculty. So ये सब का क्या मतलब हुआ? ये सब का मतलब हुआ whole of government. And whole of a nation. Again, this is what in the last 10 years we have been seeking to propagate. और तीसरा, experiments conduct करने वाला हिंदुस्तानी, सामग्री हिंदुस्तानी. तो क्या अर्थ हुआ? Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat. So you can understand, in a single sojourn of just about 2 weeks, we have proved to the world that India can be Atmanirbhar Bharat, that India can be Vishwa Hindu Bharat, and India can also perform in an integrated, synergized fashion involving each and every citizen. So that's the most important lesson, and of course the outcomes, as I said. Now the theme which the chairman was referring to, I think India has an advantage over the rest of the world which many other countries don't have. We have the asset of the traditional knowledge. And we are trying to institutionalize it, we are trying to digitalize it. Even in CSIR, we have set up a traditional knowledge digital library. So I have fancifully called it TKDL because that is what the youngsters understand. If you give them a big name, they don't understand. But if you give them an acronym, that sounds fancy. So it is called TKDL. So we have the advantage of combining our traditional knowledge with the cutting edge technology, which is not so in case of other nations, other countries, and that is why very thoughtfully the theme today is Aryabhatta to Gaganyaan, ancient wisdom to infinite possibilities, and the exhibition which has been laid out outside is also depicted here. Our journey from those ancient times to today, and also what is to be followed tomorrow. And as far as the upcoming missions are concerned, Chairman was trying to enumerate, but I think what is important to understand is that this year particularly has been very, very significant for ISRO. 2024 ended with SpaceX, and 2025 began with NAVIC. And now, of course, we'll have Vayomitra, and then 27 Gaganyaan, then 28 Chandrayaan 4, then Venus and Bharat Antariksh Station 2035. And of course, again and again, it has been said that 2040, an Indian landing on the surface of the moon. But do you know what is the implication? हम बार-बार हर मंच से कह रहे हैं कि सन 2047 जब हिंदुस्तान अपनी आज़ादी की 100वीं सालगिरह पर आएगा तो विकसित भारत। लेकिन हमें अभी ये नहीं समझ में आया कि उससे ठीक 7 साल पहले एक हिंदुस्तानी चांद की धरती से खड़ा होकर ये ऐलान करेगा कि 7 साल बाद हिंदुस्तान विकसित भारत बनने वाला है। The first declaration of the arrival of Viksit Bharat is going to be made from the surface of moon. ये उड़ान इसी तरह जारी रहे, ये प्रवास इसी तरह जारी रहे, और इसी तरह हिंदुस्तान आसमान और ब्रह्मांड की बुलंदियों पर फतेह हासिल करता रहे। जैसे एक बार अल्लामा इकबाल ने उसी बुलंदी का जिक्र करते हुए कहा था कि खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे बता तेरी रज़ा क्या है। इसी कामना के साथ, इसी दुआ के साथ, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Your guidance has been the driving force behind India's quantum leaps in space, science. Under your leadership, reforms have taken shape, young innovators have found their wings, and India's space story has become a source of global admiration. So your words today not only inspire this gathering, but also reaffirm our confidence that under your leadership, India will script some of the most Just waiting for a few more people, ladies and